All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Beautiful Thursday morning. Today we have a very special 1-hour edition of Veterans News. Hank Whittier is not in the studio. Gary Pascale sitting in Hank's place. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning, listeners, and good morning, veterans. We've got a great show here for you today. Dr. Knapp's brought some great guests. I have a few announcements I want to make, and I want to send out thanks, of course, to WOCA Radio, who we could not have Veterans Hour without. And I also want to thank the wonderful folks at Bob Wine's Camellia Garden and Nursery, who have been bringing us veterans news for a long time. They're located at 2610 Southeast 38th Street in our own beautiful Ocala. And when it comes to your landscaping needs, Bob Wines has what you need. Everything from small plants to large trees, mulch, fertilizer, and much more. Probably if they don't have it, you really don't need it. Bob Wines will deliver, and they'll plant your trees that you buy there. And if they plant them, they'll guarantee them. They have been keeping things blooming in Ocala since 1952. And if you tell them you heard about them on WOCA Radio and you show them you're a veteran, you'll get a 10% discount. My Bob Wines gardenias are in full bloom now. So get there as soon as you can. And also, we'd like to announce today that the Veterans for Energy and the Military Order of the Purple Heart are going to honor veterans along Florida's Purple Heart Trail. Please join them. Their featured speaker is Captain James McCormick, United States Army retired, 3-time Purple Heart recipient, 3-time Bronze Star recipient, and also a Silver Star recipient. There's not too many of them. The date is today, Thursday, May the 19th, time 10 a.m., and it's at Ocala Citizen Circle, which is located right behind the City Hall, which is at 110 Southeast Watula Avenue in Ocala, Florida. And one final announcement, I want to thank the folks at American Legion, post number 27, for making a great donation to Vets Helping Vets to purchase toilet paper and laundry detergent for those in need. So without further ado, Dr. Knapp, do you want to introduce your guest?
I sure do. Thank you very much. It's our pleasure to be here again today. We have a program today on optometry. As you know, we've expanded optometry and have a large optometry audiology clinic just about 6 blocks away from here. And we have Dr. Michelle Chen, optometrist, Dr. Ann Menjivar, who joined us last year, optometrist as well, and Brian Runk, our low vision specialist, and Brian has been on the radio before speaking about low vision, and he's been to the Ritz Hotel to speak to our veterans over there as well. And so let's go ahead and start. Dr. Chen, give us an overview about our optometry program that the VA offers at Ocala West. How many optometrists, techs do we have, et cetera?
Good morning. So thank you for having me. As far as our optometry clinic at the Ocala VA, we now have 5 optometrists, 2 technicians, a low vision therapist, and at least 5 personnel for scheduling and administrative tasks. And if you come to the optometry clinic, we offer comprehensive eye exams, which can include examination for eyeglass prescription, also examination of your general ocular health, which can give us a lot of valuable information as well as you about your eye health. And then we also offer low vision services, which is a sub-branch of the optometry clinic for any patients who have visual impairment in one or both eyes.
Very good. Very good. Dr. Menjivar, you joined us last year, and you came from the private world down the street, and I was kind of interested as to your perspective, or any difference in the eye problems that you're seeing in our veterans that come to your clinic, and as opposed to the eye problems you were treating in the private world.
Yeah, that's a good question. We see a wide variety of eye conditions at the eye clinic. We see a lot of cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eye, complications from diabetes, and these are all conditions that are very common in both the VA and the private sector. I think one thing that sets the VA apart a little bit, or that's a little bit more unique, is the increased number of people that we see that have had traumatic brain injuries. We see more of that, and especially the younger vets that are coming back. And with traumatic brain injury, there's a whole host of visual symptoms that people might experience. So they might experience more problems with light sensitivity or migraine headaches. They might have difficulty reading or experience things like blurred vision or double vision. They also have changes in their peripheral vision, and sometimes on the more extreme end of the spectrum, they might have a shift in the way they actually perceive the world or in their visual perceptual tasks. So for these patients, we'll try to alleviate their symptoms with use of filters, different types of glasses, sometimes vision therapy types of options, and more specialty types of clinics can help alleviate some of their symptoms as well. So I think that's trying to address those sorts of issues are some of the bigger differences I see between the VA and private sector.
Great. I didn't even think about that to talk about that today, but that's excellent. And we do have a lot of older veterans, but we're seeing many younger veterans coming back, and we do have a traumatic brain injury program in Gainesville, but we would refer them locally for audiology and optometry. Brian, you've been our low vision specialist for a long time. Can you tell us what your low vision program is?
Sure. Good morning, first of all, and thank you for having us. It's nice to be back. First of all, low vision means that even with the best correction, the best pair of glasses, the best treatment, contact lenses, medicine, or surgery, that they're still going to have a vision impairment, and they're going to have a functional issue with reading, cooking, daily living skills. And so those are the people that are going to come in to the low vision clinic in Ocala. There's 22 clinics within the VA across country that are set up like ours, and they will come in, they will get a comprehensive eye examination by Dr. Shahi, and then we will create a treatment plan with the veteran, Dr. Shahi and I, and determine what their goals are. We try to make it very veteran specific, and then the fun starts. We have all of these pieces of equipment that can help them attain their goals, and so it can take up to 3 hours. So I've had it take up to 4 hours, because depending on what their goals are and depending on, what they want to do, what they want to accomplish. And it's very rewarding. You see a lot of tears because these people are very isolated. A lot of times they don't know about low vision services before they come in, and they don't know what to expect when they come in. They don't know why they're there when they come in some of the times. They don't know that they have a vision condition, and they just know that they can't see. And so a lot of them leave feeling much better than when they came in, because when they come in, they often feel defeated and isolated.
Is there anything comparable in the private sector in the multi-county area?
Dr. Menjivar might be able to, because she did some low vision in the private sector, and it's uncommon, though, I would say, right?
There aren't too many people that do low vision in the community. I think one of the best private resources are places like Division of Blind Services or Florida Center for the Blind. They provide services for people, and they can also refer for eye exams when needed.
Right.
They can't provide the equipment, though. That's where it's really nice to work within the VA, because we can provide whatever equipment we deem to be beneficial.
It's just amazing the programs we have in the VA, and this is one of the best programs we have.
Oh, I love it. And this is just one small part of blind rehab across the country. Blind rehab blind rehab started within the VA back in the 30s.
Oh, great. And Dr. Chen, tell me about a question that relates to what Brian just said. Our patients are always confused about driving. Two issues. One, how bad or good does your vision have to be able to drive a car? And then secondly, there's always an issue when when our patients go to the driver's license bureau and can't see the letters on the screen and things like that. So how good does your vision have to be able to drive a car in Florida?
So for driving within Florida, and we do get several veterans who come in with paperwork from the local DMV, because there is that confusion that Dr. Knapp had just mentioned, where they go to the DMV and they didn't pass the driving test there, so they bring in their form so we can verify that their vision is in fact stable enough to drive. So in order to be able to drive in the state of Florida, vision needs to be at least 20/70 or better for the daytime driving, 20/50 or better for nighttime driving. And then visual field, which is your side vision or your peripheral vision on both sides, has to be greater than 60 degrees on each side.
Great. Okay,
Dr.
great.
Knapp, if we can take a little break,
Okay.
we'll be
Thank
right
you.
back. If you want to call in, by the way, the show's a full hour today, and your phone calls are welcome and invited. The number is 622-9622. If you're out of the area code is 352. So 352-622-9622. Dr. Mark Knapp is here with his guest. They're talking about your eye health from the VA clinic. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For this Thursday, times of clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm in the morning and a couple of heavier showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and early tonight. The high today 83 to 87. Partly cloudy late Thursday night, lows 69 to 73. For Friday, clouds and some sunshine with a shower and heavy thunderstorm or two in the afternoon, high 86 to 90. Saturday, variable cloudiness with a shower and thunderstorm or two, highs in the 80s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Have you heard of Hyper-Directory? When looking for local businesses, go to hyper.directory. No need for www, no need for .com, just hyper.directory. Connecting customers to local companies when it matters most. Hyper-Directory is your local business directory partnered with the Ocala Chamber and Economic Partnership to bring you trusted local businesses. Keeping Ocala local. Use hyper.directory. No www, not even .com, just hyper.directory. Connecting customers to businesses when it matters most.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Hey Ocala, this is Kelly Hart, Executive Editor of Ocala Magazine. Did you know last year Ocala Magazine won more awards in excellence than any other publication in Florida? And this year, Ocala Magazine was named Best Consumer Magazine in the state. Now you can join me every Friday at 10 a.m. on Ocala Magazine Radio, where we bring the pages of Ocala Magazine to life, right here on The Source. Ocala Magazine thanks you for making us number one. And remember, there is only one Ocala Magazine.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Remember, Veterans News today is a full hour long, so we've got another 42 minutes left in the show. Your phone calls are welcome. Hank Whittier is not here today. Gary Pascale is sitting in for Hank, and Dr. Mark Knapp. We'll throw it back to you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. To follow up on our last question, again, any of our veterans listening, if you're over trying to get your driver's license renewed and there are problems with the vision exam, please come and get checked over in our optometry clinic. Better to be safe than sorry. If you need new glasses, please come in and get your access. That leads me to Dr. Chen. I'm going to go back to you. We have a brand new program as far as scheduling so that our veterans can make their appointments, get in for their eyeglass checks and everything. Can you tell us about the new program and how that's going so far?
Yes, so now if you're a veteran and you would like an eye examination, you can contact the optometry clinic directly. And if you need the phone number, it is 352-861-3940. And I will repeat that in just a moment. Previously, if veterans were wanting an eye examination, generally a consultation by the primary care would be submitted to the optometry clinic. And then through there, an appointment would be made for the veteran. Now, like I said, you can contact the clinic directly, and if you would like an appointment, one can be made for you. Again, the phone number is 352-861-3940. This direct scheduling program just began May 1st, so it would be too early to say how it's doing so far. I would probably say in about 3 months we can give you more reliable data, but I do find that veterans find it a lot more convenient to have to be able to call in to make their appointment rather than going through their primary care. It sort of eliminates the middleman step. And if you have a direct question about why you need to be seen, you can also be referred to one of the staff on board as far as if whatever your concern or complaint about renders an eye exam more immediately, or if it's something that can wait a little bit longer.
Terrific service. So you don't have to go through your primary care doc. If you want an eye exam today, Gary, you just drive over and register for an eye exam.
Dr. Knapp, what's the difference between the optometrist and the ophthalmologist?
Okay, we're going to punt that over to one of our optometrists. Dr. Menjivar, you want to tell us about what you think the difference is between what an ophthalmologist does and an optometrist?
Yeah, there are some similarities between the two fields, of course. The training is a little bit different. For optometry, we go to optometry school for 4 years, and then a lot of people do a year residency afterwards. Ophthalmology goes to medical school first and does an ophthalmology residency afterwards. So ophthalmology does anything that needs surgical intervention, you would definitely need to see an ophthalmologist for. With optometry, we do a lot of primary eye care and treatment of eye diseases like glaucoma or dry eye infections, things of that nature. But anything surgical would go to ophthalmology for that.
So what percent of patients, or how many patients per week, then would you as an optometrist refer to an ophthalmologist?
That's a good question. I would say in the VA, I'm probably referring, I would say maybe about 10% of patients a week get referred for something like cataract surgery or advanced glaucoma treatments.
Okay. And where do they go in the VA system to see an ophthalmologist?
Gainesville. Okay. Our ophthalmology department's up in Gainesville.
Okay, very good. So what types of surgeries then does an ophthalmologist do?
It depends. They'll do retinal surgeries if there's a retinal condition. They do a lot of cataract surgeries, eyelid surgeries if you have something like droopy eyelids or other eyelid conditions. So really anything that needs to be done in the eyes or on the area around the eyes, the skin around the eyes, an ophthalmologist can handle that.
Very good. So we do have ophthalmology up in Gainesville if you need surgery or anything, and we refer them up, Gary.
That's good to know. Because Gainesville, you get good care too. We're so blessed here.
Okay.
You hear so many complaints about the VA, but we are just so blessed in this area.
Well, 90% of all the eye problems then are taken care of right here locally, so our veterans don't have to go up. And keep in mind also about when I was first started here about maybe 6 years ago, we were sending our veterans to an eyeglass place over by 75, and there were so many complaints, and they switched it, and now we do all our eyeglasses over in Ocala West, and I haven't heard anyone complain about their glasses in years.
That's a big improvement.
The service is just terrific, and obviously much cheaper than going on the outside.
You're right. Yeah.
Okay. Brian, tell me a little bit more here about what about, I've heard you speak to our homeless veterans at the Ritz, and I was really impressed with the audiovisual aids you had. Obviously, we can't see them, but tell our veterans that are listening on the radio, what type of aids and audiovisual equipment do you bring to the house?
Oh, boy. If you were in my office, you would get a feel for it. And actually, within this last few years, technology has really changed. But some of the more basic devices are magnifying glasses, magnifiers that you're not going to find in Walgreens. It's not going to be like an over-the-counter magnifier, because sometimes people will think, well, I've got a magnifier at Walgreens. What am I coming to see you for? We've got state-of-the-art magnifiers, and there are many different types. Talking watches. I remember last year when I was here, I had one in my pocket, and I played it over the microphone, and I left it in my bag out there. And so...
I remember that.
Do you? Yeah, that was me. We can issue global positioning devices for independent traveling. We can issue scanners that will view and speak documents. We call those OCRs. We have closed-circuit television systems, which are a video type of magnification. And now they have portable CCTVs where they can take those to the store or the restaurant or outside of the home. And what the new trend is smartphones and tablets and applications that are specific to the visually impaired veteran. We have a smartphone program in Birmingham and West Palm Beach, but they're actually now talking about actually sending them to the intermediate low vision clinics to get the training. And the thought is you can get an app for free that can do what a $600 piece of equipment can. And so it really makes a lot of sense. And so the move is really towards these tablets and that type of technology and computer access technology.
So tell me, what would a smartphone do for a visually impaired person?
Well, for example, if they could not see what a denomination of a bill was, they could snap a picture of it, and the phone will say $5. If you buy a piece of equipment, it's going to be a $600 device that you shoot at the bill, and it can also act as a GPS. It can act as a color identifier. And so there's a bunch of apps. In fact, one of the apps that fascinated me the most was I was at a conference, and it was a blind veteran, and he told me the name of the app. And you could literally take a picture. I could take a picture right now in this room, and it would tell me that this was a radio studio. And because it's going to recognize the acoustics up there, and it will I took a picture of my shoe, and it told me what brand name of shoe it was and where I could buy it. And so it's amazing what some of these smartphones and the iPads and all of that can do.
I think we have a question.
Yes, sir. If you'll put your headsets on. And by the way, if you're calling in, I see a few calls coming in. We'll take those calls right now and throughout the show, as a matter of fact. But here's the way it works. Nobody answers the phone. I will click the button, and you will just hear our guests talking, and I will signal to Dr. Knapp that there's a phone call. And if you just hang on there, I'll be sure to get you on as soon as somebody takes a breath. So we do have somebody waiting right now. Can everybody hear me in their headsets?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me? Okay. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Yes, I have a question. If I break my glasses and I just had an eye exam, how do I get new ones?
Great question. Dr. Chen?
If you've just had an eye exam, especially here at the VA, and you got your glasses here, you can come back into the VA and they'll do a replacement for you. If you haven't had your eyes examined, we can definitely schedule you for another appointment to get a new set of glasses. But either way, we would definitely help you get a replacement.
Can they just come right into the eyeglass?
If it's just restricted just to the eyeglasses, and like you had mentioned, you had just gotten them, yes, you can come in without an appointment and just sign in to see the optical staff.
Did you have a follow-up question?
Thank you.
Oh, I guess you did not. Okay. The phone line, by the way, is open if you want to call 622-9622. If you're out of the area code is 352.
Thank you. Thank you. Brian's going to ask you, what about cost for all this equipment? It sounds expensive, especially the iPhones and everything else.
It is expensive. I don't have the exact numbers, but if you're familiar with Vera reimbursement, the blind rehab is largely funded by Vera reimbursement, and so we are able to handle giving all of these pieces of equipment without breaking the bank.
Right. But what about the veteran? Does the veteran end up paying for the?
No. In fact, I tell you, because some of the veterans don't want to accept any of these devices because they can be pricey, and they're aware of that. And what I tell each and every veteran is, I'm not giving you anything for free. You paid for this. You were on the prepayment plan, and you just didn't know it. And so that kind of helps with them feeling like we're not just giving them a whole bunch of
that's nice. The caller hung up, but if you're calling in and again, you don't wait for somebody to say hello, because it won't happen. You'll hear what's happening on the radio, and then we'll go to you as soon as we can.
I like that phrase, prepayment plan. We use that a lot.
You just didn't know it.
Yeah, we use that a lot.
I wish I wasn't one of those.
We're about a minute away from the bottom of the hour, so gosh, it's going fast today.
Good. Dr. Chen, tell us about our access for optometry. How long does it take to see a new patient, return patients?
So presently, if you call in and would like an eye examination, we can get you in within 12 days. Once upon a time, our wait time before we had increased and expanded our staff was about 120 days. But now, like I said, with increased staffing, we can get you in within 12 days. If you have an emergency or anything that's immediately concerning, we certainly will try to see you on the same day as well. And if it's an after-hour emergency, then obviously we would recommend you go up to Gainesville and have them take a look too. We wouldn't necessarily want you to wait to the next day if it's worrying you that much.
All right, we'll take a little break, doctor, and we'll be right back. Again, the phone line is open. The full number, 352-622-9622. We'll be right back.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Lillian Wu. A search underway for a missing Egypt Air plane flying from Paris to Cairo with 66 people on board.
To the sea, using our airplanes. We're also using the intelligence services.
Egypt's aviation minister saying no theory is excluded on what happened to the plane, which the French president says has crashed.
France's President Hollande is making quite clear that his government will put in place whatever is needed to try and help the search and rescue operation down in the Mediterranean off Greece. There are a number of French ships making their way there now.
Mark Stone with Fox sister network Sky News in Paris, where the French Parliament's lower house has just approved a 2-month extension of the state of emergency there. And here at home, the House is moving forward with legislation to help Puerto Rico manage its $70 billion in debt. Fox News, we report. You decide.
For me, it was the big S-Class from the 90s. Beautiful. My friend's dad had one.
The SL. All of the SLs. I've been watching those since I was a kid.
I think the 1971 SC was the first Mercedes that just blew me away.
Everyone remembers the first time they saw one, and the day they began to long for a Mercedes-Benz of their own. Well, that day may be a lot closer than you think. With a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can experience the luxury, the unparalleled safety, the performance, and the style Mercedes-Benz is famous for at a price you can afford. Beautiful SUVs, sedans, coupes, and convertibles that are factory certified and covered by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 3 years, so you can drive without a worry for as far as you like. And during the certified pre-owned sales event going on now through May 31st, you can receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. You've waited long enough.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
All right, 28 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's return now to Veterans News. Gary, I think I'll toss it to you. I think you got a sponsor thing you got to do. And we have a guest also, a caller on the line.
I sure do. We want to thank again the great folks at WOCA. It wouldn't be possible without it. So thank you, and thanks to listeners. And also the great folks at Bob Wine's Camellia Garden and Nursery. Again, they're located at 2610 Southeast 38th Street in our own beautiful Ocala. So get down there and, get those plants. There's some good weather out there to work in the yard. And if you tell Bob Wines you're a veteran and you heard about him on WOCA and you show him proof, you get a 10% discount. So get them camellias, get them gardenias, and I think they may still have a few azaleas left down there.
All right. You do have a phone call waiting.
Good morning.
Patiently. Good morning. You're on the air now.
Hello, I have a question.
Go ahead. Sir. Yes, you're on the air.
I have watery, itchy, running eyes for about 2, 3, 4 weeks. What can I do? Is there something I should do to help me?
Yeah, Dr. Menjivar, do you want to address that?
A lot of times, especially this time of year, itchy, watery eyes are often allergy related. It could also be common dry eye symptoms that you're experiencing. So I would recommend, especially if you're a veteran coming in for an eye exam, we can look and try to give you a little bit more guidance in terms of what it is. There are over-the-counter medications, artificial tear drops, or over-the-counter allergy eye drops that you can use to try to alleviate your symptoms as well. But usually getting it evaluated with an eye exam would be the best first step.
Okay, thank you very much. And as Dr. Chen had just mentioned, our waiting list for new patients is 12 days. I think that's fantastic.
That's very good, yeah.
And they can prescribe medications, and if it's allergies, it'll probably come back every year, so you'll be able to use those medications yearly.
Mm-hmm. Very good. The phone line's open, by the way, if you want to call 622-9622.
Okay,
and that 12-day span seems a lot better than what the rest of the country is reporting. We're doing pretty good in Marion County, aren't we?
Our access is famous here in Marion County. And, of course, as I say that, I'm sure there's going to be someone out there who's, unhappy or may not have had the best experience. But we think 99% of the time we do. And I was just mentioning at the break that we have multiple access points. We have primary care. and our access for primary care, we see most new patients within several weeks. And our goal is less than a month, and we beat that. And mental health, we see a lot of same-day mental health new patients. We're set up for that. We have audiology, optometry, and then return visits. And we meet all metrics by return. So I think that's even a lot better than the private world. Because I was a Navy doctor, but I have all private physicians. And when I try to get an appointment, it takes a long time.
Wow.
For a new patient, it might take months. And our new patient access at the Cascades is several weeks. And we see a lot of same-day new patients. For example, our homeless veterans that come in at 10 o'clock in the morning can't come back in 2 weeks. Because they may live in their car, and who knows where they're going to be living in 2 weeks. So veterans that have need like that, we see immediately. So it's great service.
Yeah, it is well spoken about. So, yeah.
And I guess while we're here, we have 15,000 people that listen to this show, and we always say if you're a veteran out there and you have prepaid for your service, and if you're not coming to the VA clinic, we want to serve you. So if you need primary care, you need optometry, audiology, mental health, please drive over. Takes minutes to sign up. You don't have to have a DD-214. We'll get it for you. So if you're thinking about access and you want to come to the VA, please do that this week because we want to serve you. Okay, let's move on to some really other interesting issues here. Let's talk about cataracts, which at my age, I'm sure I'm at risk for, and I wonder if I have since everything's blurry. Dr. Chen, can you tell us a little bit about what cataracts are and who's at risk and how do you know whether you have cataracts or not?
So cataracts are an opacity or clouding of the lens inside the eye, and the lens inside the eye is actually right behind the color part or the iris of your eye. So this isn't necessarily something you can see just by looking at someone directly. You would definitely need to come in for an eye exam to take a look and see and evaluate to the extent of how these cataracts are developing. So some common symptoms you may notice with cataracts would be increase in blurred vision, maybe a little bit of change in the color of your vision. People tend to mention things look more yellowed in appearance. Also, if you notice more glare, another common symptom we hear all the time too is there's an increase in the filmy quality of your vision. So who's at risk for these types of cataracts or cataracts in general? Basically everyone. So as we all live longer, cataracts tend to develop as time goes on or with age. And if you're wondering if you would need surgery, again, we can help evaluate for that. A lot of times we would recommend based on what your daily needs are for your vision and what level of vision you're able to function with these cataracts, go factor into the decision if that's something you should have done.
A lot of my patients have had cataract surgery. Let's go back. Let's take the phone call, and then we'll go back to that.
Didn't mean to interrupt you. Good morning. Thank you for calling.
Good morning.
You're on the air.
Yes, thank you. Very good program. I recently read and heard that they're developing eye drops to get rid of cataracts in the future. Have you heard of anything of this sort?
That would be really interesting if they did. Dr. Chen, I'm sure you read a lot, so you probably can answer that question.
No, I do not know of any eye drops that do this, but I know that what you're saying because people have come in mentioning this and asking about this, just like a lot of people mention that they've heard that cataract surgery can be done just with laser alone. Actually, there's a lot of eye drops, though, out there that if you do take them over the long term, which you would need monitoring for if they're being prescribed to you by a doctor, they may potentially increase the progression or development of cataracts. So the opposite for sure. So again, if you're concerned or have any questions, please come in and we'll take a look.
And we do have another call if you'll keep your headsets on.
Thank you. Thank you for your question.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes. If my eye doctor write me a prescription for eye medication, can I get the VA to pay for this?
Good question. So let me try to answer that. What we try to do with that is the primary care doctors are usually involved with that. So if a if a doctor outside the VA writes any of our veterans a prescription, if you'll bring it to the clinic, usually with some documentation, then the primary care doc will look at that prescription, and if the VA has it, we can prescribe it for you. Two issues. Number one is the VA has 90% of medications. Nobody has 100% of every medication known to man, and sometimes we have to ask the eye doctor, is there something we have on the formulary that we can substitute? And the second issue is, lots of times we like to have a little bit of documentation. We had the other day where someone wrote a prescription for medications that would have cost about $10,000 a year. So we'd like to have some documentation as to why that's needed. And then if we have any questions, then I can call the physician and ask them. And sometimes we refer you up to Gainesville. But in general, the answer to your question is yes. And we, 90% of the time, there's no problems whatsoever. Great service.
Very good. There are no calls at this point, but you're welcome to call if you want to do that. The number is 622-9622. Got a good 20 minutes left in this program.
Dr. Chen, I was going to ask you about eye protection in Florida. Is sunlight affect your production of cataracts, and is it worthwhile, wearing sunglasses and eye protection, or is that an old wives' tale?
So certainly sunglasses is definitely a recommendation. Cataracts potentially can be exacerbated or worsened through constant UV exposure. And not only that, there are several other eye conditions too that can be impacted with prolonged sun exposure, such as macular degeneration. Also something less commonly so in terms of visual impairment, but more obviously so from a cosmetic standpoint, is people can develop this fibrous tissue. We call them pterygiums on the front part of their eyes, and sometimes that can grow and develop and actually invade towards the central part of your vision. So yes, we do recommend UV protection and sunglasses if possible, or if not, at least have a hat when you're outside.
Good. Okay, very good. I see a lot of pterygiums because a lot of our veterans work outside, and what do we do with pterygiums, Dr. Menjivar? Any treatment, or what is the indication to operate on those?
So it depends on the extent of the pterygium growth. Early pterygiums that don't impact the vision or don't cause any discomfort symptoms, we usually don't do anything with. If it's causing discomfort or dryness types of symptoms, we would just have you use artificial teardrops or lubricating drops for comfort. In the more advanced forms of the pterygiums where they do start to impact your central vision, those would be referred up to Gainesville for surgery, and they can be excised or removed surgically.
Yeah, we as primary care docs, we talk a lot about hats and sunscreen. I'm sure none of us remember to tell our veterans to, wear eye protection. Brian, let's go back to you. My mother-in-law is legally blind, and unfortunately she has Alzheimer's. So at the same time, which is a real double whammy, and she can't see TV, so she watches her programs. What aids do we have for our visually impaired veterans to help them watch TV?
There's a variety of different aids. There are mounted telescopes that are mounted into a carrier frame. There are what we call bioptics, which some people will use to watch television, which are just distance magnifiers mounted again into a carrier frame. Then the most popular device that we issue is something called Max TV, and it's a weaker magnifier. But we always try to stay as weak as we can when we're trying to magnify the television, because if you can imagine, people have 60, 70-inch televisions now, and if we're going to magnify that 2 times, they're going to just basically see one little portion of the television. So there are a variety of different bioptics and telescopes and distance magnifiers. And now, again, with all of this new technology, they can get a tablet if they go through one of the iPad programs, and a lot of them will stream television onto their iPad because they can hold it up to their face. And so, again, with all of this new technology, who knows where it's going to stop? I'm running out of space, but it is pretty fascinating. But there are a whole a variety of options out there for watching television. A lot of times, I will recommend someone just sit closer, because it can be uncomfortable to wear some of the telescopes, and sometimes they'll just listen. And then some television programs will actually have what's called descriptive video, and if you go into your settings in your television, there's a narrator in the background, and when there's action that's taking place without dialogue, there's a narrator that will actually describe what's going on. And it's available on many programs right now. People just don't know about it.
We have to take a little break. We got 15 minutes left in the show. If you want to call in, again, you're welcome to. The number is 622-9622. The area code is 352. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For this Thursday, times of clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm in the morning and a couple of heavier showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and early tonight. The high today 83 to 87. Partly cloudy late Thursday night, lows 69 to 73. For Friday, clouds and some sunshine with a shower and heavy thunderstorm or two in the afternoon, high 86 to 90. Saturday, variable cloudiness with a shower and thunderstorm or two, highs in the 80s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Bob Kennedy with Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty will be on the air Friday at 9:30 a.m. to talk about real estate. Bob will be addressing issues concerning the local real estate market, financing, trends, and even spotlight a listing or two. The program is interactive, and that means your calls are an important part of the show. So whether you're buying, selling, renting, or acting as a landlord, be sure to tune in Fridays 9:30 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source, 96.3 FM and 1370 a.m. On Saturday, May 21st, from 6:30 till 9 p.m., the Appleton Museum of Art invites you to a second Family Night at the Museum event where the artwork comes to life. Go on a flashlight scavenger hunt to meet artists throughout the centuries. Enjoy snacks in the cafe, multicultural art activities in the art space, and lots of other surprises. Tickets are $10 for Appleton members and $15 for non-members. For more information, visit appletonmuseum.org.
Are you in need of custom screen printing, embroidery, or promotional items? Then look no further and come visit the brand new Legacy Team Sales. LTS is conveniently located off 17th Street next to Armstrong Homes in beautiful Ocala. We offer the best prices and highest quality products for your company, team, school, or nonprofit. Whether looking for screen printed shirts, embroidered polos, or travel team uniforms, you'll be sure to find it at Legacy Team Sales. Come visit our new 27,000 square foot facility. Our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff will assist you in every part of your custom purchase. LTS carries the hottest brands in the industry like Under Armour, Russell, Mizuno, Asics, Badger Sports, Gildan, Pacific, Ogio, and many more. At LTS, screen printing embroidery is done in-house and we guarantee customer satisfaction. Stop by, give us a call, or check us out on the web at shoplts.com. Remember the name, LTS.
It's crepe myrtle time in Ocala, and there's no better place around here for crepe myrtles than Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. Right now, you'll find a huge selection of sizes and colors, including those hot and hard-to-find exotics like black diamond in fantastic colors like very dark red, pure white, and blush pink. And they've got those double bloom crepe myrtles, too. They're beautiful. See for yourself. Prices start as low as $4.99 on crepe myrtles, and they'll go all the way up to $299 with these. It's buy one, get one free, delivered, planted, and guaranteed. Check out all the deals like unbelievable specials on roses, a closeout on ligustrum 3 to 5 feet tall, just $20 this week only. Check the ad for all the specials, then hurry to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, daily till 4, Saturdays till 3. Homegrown, locally owned in the same place since 1952.
12 minutes before 10 o'clock. If you'd like to call into the Veterans Program, we've got 12 minutes left, and we invite you to do that. The number is 352-622-9622. Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets, not here today. Dr. Mark Gapp is sitting in and answering questions with his panel of specialists about eye health care. I'll say it right. I'll get it right.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Let's move on to some nuts and bolts. And as you know, the cost for eyeglasses is extraordinarily expensive, but the VA has a really good eye program, and our eyeglasses are much less pricey. Dr. Menjivar, tell us specifically, if I come to the VA and I need eyeglasses, where am I going to get my eyeglasses, and what is the mechanism for getting those?
So to get eyeglasses through the VA, we're fortunate. We actually have the optical on site, so it's easy to have glasses made for our veterans. They would first need an eye exam with us so that we could determine what their prescription is, and then they would take that prescription out to the optical where the glasses would be ordered. We are able to provide one pair of glasses, which includes frames and lenses, once a year to the veterans if they need it. And usually it takes about 3 weeks for the glasses to be made once they're ordered. If you have an outside prescription and you see an outside eye doctor, you can also bring in outside prescriptions to our optical even without being seen for an eye exam in our clinic, and they can fill those outside prescriptions as well.
That's terrific. Let's take a question and we'll come back to that.
Yes, sir. If you put your headsets on. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Yeah, my question is, how long does it take to get cataract surgery from the VA?
Good question. That's one of our access points here. Dr. Menjivar, if you refer someone who needs cataract surgery, what's your perspective on how long it takes to get up to be evaluated?
Typically, they call the veteran to schedule an appointment within the week. They get back with you really quickly. I believe it's about 30 to 60 days.
Oh,
how
good.
long? 3 weeks?
Good.
4 weeks? Okay, yeah. So about 4 weeks to actually get the evaluation for the cataract surgery. They don't do the surgery that day. They'll first evaluate the cataracts, and then from there they'll schedule the surgery. But about 4 weeks to get you up.
That's terrific. And just so our veterans know, anyone who's listening in, our new VA Secretary, Robert McDonald, we have a new program in the last few months for all veterans. When we're placing consults, Gary, or trying to get testing in Gainesville or the villages, they used to send you a letter. Now they try to call you. And the reason they call you is because we're trying to get access faster for CAT scans, all consults, and try to negotiate an appointment that's more convenient for you. In the old days, you get a letter, and if you couldn't make it on Monday and you needed it on Tuesday, then you try to call in. And we're trying to solve that. There's one issue that I'm finding, and that's you have to answer the phone. So they only call between 8 and 4:30, 5 days a week. So if you need a referral, someone's going to call you on the phone. So please be aware of that. And the whole idea of that is to get you in faster and get you faster service here.
On the eyeglasses, I noticed with me, once a year I get my pair of glasses, and it doesn't cost me anything, but I have a bad habit of misplacing them. Sometimes can't find them for a couple of days. What if you need an extra pair?
That's a great question. Usually what I recommend doing when you get a new pair of glasses, make sure you're keeping your old pair of glasses too, because usually the prescription doesn't change significantly from one year to the next. So keep old glasses so that you can have those as a backup. The VA does offer a one-time replacement. So if you lose them and you can't find them, even if you've had glasses made within the past year, they can replace them for you. But that's a once-in-a-lifetime
Can you
service.
purchase an extra pair?
Sure, absolutely. We can give you a copy of the prescription. You can either purchase another pair through the VA clinic, or you can take it to an outside optical as well to have glasses made.
That's terrific. So you can bring your prescription from your outside doc to the optical department, get your glasses. You don't need another eye exam. And if your dog flushes your eyeglasses down the toilet, Gary, you can come over and get another free pair of glasses.
And my beagle likes to chew on them.
Same thing with hearing aids. If you remember when we had the audiology people, if you're and it's very common that your animals chew on your hearing aids, apparently. And if that happens, you do get a one-time new hearing aids. Hearing aids cost about $6,000.
Wow.
So the VA will replace your hearing aids one time if you lose your hearing aids.
Wow.
Great service. So please, anyone listening to this, please sign up and take advantage of this.
Are the same rules apply to contact lenses?
Oh, I don't know anything about contact lenses. Do either one of you do contact lenses?
We actually do not. We don't fit contact lenses at our clinic in Ocala. If it's a medical condition that necessitates contact lens wear, they can be fit up in the Gainesville clinic. But typically, contact lenses aren't something that we work with.
Okay. So regular contact lenses, no. But if it's a medical issue, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
Sure. Very good. Another issue that I wanted to talk about before we leave today. We have a high no-show rate, which is not good. Dr. Chin, you have any ideas to how to encourage our veterans to keep their appointments?
Well, just like Dr. Menjivar and Dr. Knapp had just mentioned, when you come in for an eye exam, if you are going to need a pair of glasses, the VA does provide that to you at no cost for a basic pair of glasses. And for many people, a pair of glasses can mean the difference between doing their everyday activities or not being able to do so. So it's crucial for your job, and it's crucial for you to be able to drive. Also, when you come in to get an eye exam, we're not only checking your vision, but also the health of your eyes. And there can be a lot of important information in the health of your eyes that can relate to the rest of your body. And if you need any referrals or consultation with other specialties, we can let your primary care provider know and have them make a decision about where to send you if you need anything from there. But otherwise, also, another incentive is we've got wonderful staff, really nice people who are here to help you, and we want to see you. So don't be afraid. An eye exam, of all things to come in and get an appointment for, is probably one of the least scarier things to get checked up for.
So it's not painful to get an eye exam.
No, no. And there's a lot of common conditions, low-grade types of things, such as one of the earlier callers called in about, itchy, red eyes, etc. A lot of things like that people tend to ignore or try to take care of on their own, but there may be a simple solution, or it may be multiple causes, and if you come in, we can help you troubleshoot what's going on there.
Right.
A lot of veterans work in manufacturing and stuff where they require safety glasses, but yet they wear glasses, so you can't put the safety glasses over the glasses. Do y'all provide safety glasses that are prescription?
So if you do need safety glasses, there are definite standards for safety glasses where if it's like for your job, they have to be approved safety frame with approved safety lenses. There are those available through the optical. The patient would have to specify if it needs to be of that safety level, or if it's just for a hobby and they need something of higher impact or general safety, that's also provided too as well. And several people who do it for their occupation will bring in paperwork that says, they just need the prescription, and even their work will help provide it for them too.
Great. And I guess what we want to stress on this show is not only access, we want our veterans to enroll, but this is your VA. It's not my VA. And it's only as good as our veterans make it. And if we have a high no-show rate, then we have our optometrists sitting around, waiting for patients. And we can actually get more veterans into those slots and deliver better access or more access. So this is your VA, not only in primary care, audiology, optometry, and mental health. And if you can't make your appointment, please call. We're getting a lot of veterans coming back, younger veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan who have lots of needs, like Dr. Menjivar was saying, and we want to get those veterans in right away. So if you can't make your appointment, please call and let us know, and we're going to get another veteran right in to be seen.
We have about 3 minutes left if you want to get in any information like phone numbers and things like that.
Okay, let's go ahead. A phone number for calling in again, Dr. Chen?
So if you would like to make an appointment or have any questions, the optometry phone number is 352-861-3940. There's also a voicemail prompt too if no one can answer your call at the moment, and you can leave a message and someone will get back to you.
Great. And I had two other topics we want to discuss in a couple minutes. Dr. Menjivar, answer the question, how often should our diabetics get their eyes examined?
I recommend once a year,
Okay.
At least every 2 years, especially if it's a well-controlled diabetic. Every 2 years might be okay, but generally once a year would be standard of care if you're diabetic, to monitor for diabetic changes in the back of the eye.
Okay, very good. And we about a third of our patients are diabetics that come to the clinic. And then recently we've been dealing with one issue, service dogs. Brian, does the VA provide service dogs for visually impaired veterans?
The VA does not provide dogs. What the VA will provide is aftercare or veterinarian care. And so, and I just work with the service dogs, obviously for the blind and visually impaired. They have to have gone through an extensive what's called orientation mobility program, which is one of the other hats that I wear. So when I do home visits, I may be teaching orientation mobility so that they can get accepted into dog guide school. So it has to be a reputable dog guide school. And then I have to do an assessment before they actually get the dog as to whether or not they are going to use the dog. They have to be able to walk 2 miles at least every day. And it costs about $40,000 to raise a service dog for the blind and visually impaired. And so we have to make sure that that dog is utilized. If it will get utilized and if they get the dog, then the VA will assist with veterinarian and care with the dog.
Great service. And in the last 30 seconds, usually I talk about our job here is to empower our veterans to really assist in their care and take care of themselves. But what I'm going to talk about today is that we've expanded our optometry department. As Dr. Chin has mentioned, our new patient appointments are about 12 days out, which is wonderful service. And Congress appropriated that money about a year ago so we could hire more optometrists. So we have new scheduling. You can make your own appointment. Access improvements. As you know, our eyeglass optical department is excellent. We rarely get any veterans who are unhappy, and those of you that have been following our program for many years realize years ago it was not very good, and we switched to a new optical department. They're doing a great job.
10 seconds.
Okay, and finally, my last sentence, this is your VA. It's only as good as the effort you put into improving the services. The VA is only as good as you make it. So thank you very much.
We'll close with God Bless America.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala.
Lillian Wu. President Obama has been briefed on Egypt Air Flight MS-804, which crashed en route from Paris to Cairo.
A U.S. government official has confirmed to Fox News that Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson has been briefed at least twice. The U.S. government official emphasized everything is on the table and they are tied in tight with French and Egyptian contacts who have the lead on the investigation.
Fox's Catherine Harris.